Hi, I'm Sheila Franzen, the spiritual geek. And yesterday, after I posted this article on Substack, my guides kind of inspired me and said, "Hey, why don't you teach everything you write?" Because I've been trying to figure out what is it that I would teach on YouTube so that I could start sharing more information on video and have people get a sense of who I am. So I'm going for it. And this is my first little teaching on what I write, because a lot of what I write is always about teaching something. And there's always more that comes to me after I've written it. It comes to me when I start talking about it. And so this is a little experiment, and we'll see how it goes. So, this article is about what consciousness and awareness really mean. Earlier, actually, I think it was last weekend, I was doing some writing and trying to uncover some unconscious beliefs. And what came into my writing in the middle of this journaling I was doing was this set of words. Consciousness comes with awareness, awareness comes with consciousness. There's a play that goes back and forth. Each moment of awareness creates consciousness. And each intention of consciousness expands into more awareness. So these two words are used interchangeably all the time in New Age teachings. But I love to come back to the origin of words because I think if we understand the origin, we kind of understand how these words came about. And sometimes we find there's a little bit of a deeper meaning there. So consciousness originated in Latin, having joint knowledge and suggesting a shared or internal knowing. And then by the 16th century, the word consciousness emerged, first describing moral self awareness, and then later broadening to mean the state of being aware of one's own existence and experiences. So, this aspect of consciousness, meaning that we can be aware. And then we have awareness that originally was about being wary or heedful, like we were cautious awareness. And then it developed 19th century came to mean the state of being conscious of something, especially through perception or attention, so that we have this ability to be conscious, and awareness is that aspect of being conscious. So these beautiful words, they're often used interchangeably, yet they do have different meanings. Awareness allows us to watch our consciousness. With more awareness, we can shift our consciousness and we increase our inner knowing. This increase, as we increase our knowing, then we expand our consciousness. So, and then consciousness is our ability to be aware of our own experiences, which by its very nature is always increasing awareness. So I often think of moving into higher consciousness, and moving into higher consciousness meaning that we can keep growing in consciousness, but we can't do that without more awareness. Because if we walk through life unaware, then we're not getting to know more about our inner state. We're not getting to know more about our own consciousness of what's going on. So it's actually really key that we learn in this aspect of spiritual practice that the play between these two things is our spiritual practice every day, every moment. We come back to our awareness to increase our consciousness. So, what more can we be aware of? Where can we tune in? Where can we understand how we feel? Can we notice how we're responding or interacting with others? And then, how does that new awareness increase our consciousness? Now, the other aspect we have that came to me as I was writing, and I think this one's really interesting, is these concepts of collective consciousnesses. So we have our own inner awareness, and that's our inner knowing. But then we have all these groups and these containers of consciousness that also contain patterns, histories of beliefs, some empowering, some not so empowering. The more we become aware of these forms of consciousness and how we're affected by or even unconsciously following them, then we have to realize we still have a choice. So we can have collective consciousness, that knowing that happens because of a structure of a family or a relationship or uh, an organization we're part of or a work culture. All those things have their own consciousness that comes with them. Our goal is being able to stay in that inner awareness, that inner knowing that allows us to know where we are ourselves, because that's what we always have is the power to choose. We have the power to choose how we want to respond, what we want to follow, who we want to follow, what we will believe, what we will do, what to let go of, what to heal, ultimately, what to think. We choose. So it's our choice arising from our own internal consciousness and expanded awareness that lets us more fully express who we are. Discovering our inner knowing, our inner consciousness, is the path to standing in our power. And within our power, we are simply aware. We know who we are. No matter what container of consciousness we're in, we know who we are. Our consciousness feels whole and complete. Those containers don't leave us wobbly. They simply stand in awe of the one who knows themselves. I don't know where that line came from, but I thought it was beautiful. All these containers, all the people, all our friends, when we know who we are and we know our own inner consciousness, they stand in awe of the one who knows themselves. Be aware, be conscious, be you. Thanks for listening.